Hello. Hi, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Environmental Podcast. We are your hosts and the founders of Dandelion Branding, Court and Ob. And this is our podcast where we chat all about business and sustainability and where we interview folks about their role in the transition to a more sustainable future. And today we are joined by Maxim Gelmann, who is the founder and chief Stroodler of Strudels. Thank you so much for being here, Maxim.
Thanks for having me. Hello, everyone.
Our pleasure. So Strudels is a very, very cool company that is making straws and cutlery out of biodegradable and food products. Incredible concept. Can you tell us a bit more about your company?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, cool. Let me give you a little bit of backstory and then I'll show you the products. And then there's also some new products, which I think will be interesting as well, because getting on the kids. Cool. So I started the company a good 5.5 years ago now with the whole idea in mind that sustainability is usually this doom and gloom type concept. Kind of communication is very much polluted beaches, dying animals. And at least here in the UK, everyone's like, well, not sick of the topic, but people are tired because it's like you get bombarded with it and everyone is aware that plastic is bad, but also no one wants to change their habits, change their behaviors. And I guess it doesn't help that sustainability is usually stereotyped that it means compromise. And even compromise looked up in the dictionary means accepting something inferior. So almost that vicious circle doesn't work. With that in mind, like I believe that we rather need millions of people doing sustainability imperfectly rather than a few doing it perfectly. And with that in mind, basically Strudels was set up. If you can see later on the website and everything, and I'll show you the branding. I mean, there's basically the little character, Mr. Strudels. He does look a little bit like me. I normally have my top hat, but I saved you guys for today. But the idea is like through the company, I'm not building a product business, I'm building a brand. And it's about like showing and inspiring people how easy and fun sustainability can be. And it's basically giving people tangible solutions to basically everyday problems. And the medium I've chosen is kind of sustainability immersion. So yeah, you can have as many like beautiful brochures as you want, but I mean, it's almost like it goes above people's heads because I'm trying to reach the 99.9% of people who care but don't care, if you know what I mean. The best way to do that is by experiencing sustainability. But I know you can still go get drunk, but with an edible cup or whatever, you can still enjoy your smoothie with an edible straw. And it's basically probably the most impactful way to reach someone. Again, I'm not naive. I'm not going to be able to change the world, but it's probably as close as it comes to leading a very powerful impact and touch point in people's heads. And then it's like a seed. I mean, with some people, it will grow quicker, with some less. Again, I have this theory of like super touch points. You can check out, I've done a TEDx on that. So it's kind of like, it's almost like in the world of like information that people get bombarded with on that journey to change. Again, probably items like mine are like accelerate you more. It's almost like a trampoline because it's fun, it's memorable, and you're having fun with it. And so on a large scale, I'm trying to change the face of sustainability, the communication around it, and hence it's about using that. I want the character to become a symbol for this new sustainability, almost the opposite of Greta and David Attenborough. They do great work, but on the other side of the spectrum, kind of sustainability 2.0, that's fun and happy. So with that in mind, kind of we created a range of products. So the first product we've done was like pasta straws. They last an hour, don't go soggy. So the new version is rice straws. So for those who are intolerant as well. So they come in different sizes, shapes, so like bubble tea, anything. So no more soggy paper straws. Then we have coffee stirrers, biscuit coffee stirrers. So you can eat them. So it's almost like 2-in-1. You can stir your coffee. So if you have budget for stirrers and biscuits, it's almost 2-in-1 there. Then ice cream spades, biscuit ice cream spade as well with like an S on it. So again, that's a chocolate cocoa version. That's an oat version. So again, after your ice cream, you can eat them. Ketchup flavored chip forks. So what else? And that's a bigger version of the spoons. For more like desserty type things. Then short chocolate cocoa, larger spoons, forks. Then edible cups, so you can kind of take a bite, one of your 5 cups a day. What else do we have? Edible bowls. So again, imagine you were doing a very creamy dish like a mac and cheese or something in it. So you almost want to eat the bowl afterwards, and then we do various size like plates, like wheat bran plates, like that. And then the newest product is we try to so at least in the UK it's custom when you have a kid's birthday parties, you do kids party bags. They're normally full of plastic toys, so we partnered up with a nutritionist and created sustainable party bags. So there's two versions. One is a color changing lemonade activity. Well, we can do a guessing game. What vegetable you think is used to color lemonade? Let's do this one.
What color?
No, what vegetable? So we use a vegetable so to turn water blue and then purple. What vegetable do we use?
A vegetable?
Yeah, everyone would know. It's nothing special.
Beets.
No, close. Well, shall I reveal it? No, red cabbage. Red cabbage.
Cabbage. Red cabbage. Okay.
Basically, yeah, we show using red cabbage. Basically, water goes blue and then purple, and then there's a whole recipes how to make purple noodles, purple rice with pasta straws, and the other one is a cake in a mug mix with chocolate spoons, and then like basically sugar-free cake with lucama powder again replacement. So again, kind of almost foodie activity meets sustainability activities, and there's more in the pipeline because again, it's a fun way, and that's the generation we need to influence. I mean, we're all too old for it anyway. So yeah, it's basically just with the product, just trying to inspire, and they're very memorable. It's a talking point, so it's just a very powerful way to tackle the sustainability topic.
Yeah, and I think that that's the perfect segue into our favorite part of the show. But before we jump into that, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you'll get a notification for every inspiring sustainability talk we have. We are here the first and third Monday of every month with another incredible host like Mr. Strudels. Tell us the role that you and Strudels are playing in the transition to a more sustainable future.
Yeah, I think the approach that we take, I think I've hinted at it a little bit more. I think we approach it from a very different angle. It's away from all that seriousness around the topic. I think it's taking that fun approach. And basically the talks that I do is, I guess, it's about like how to package up the topic of sustainability in a fun way. And so I think it's a very different delivery of sustainability topic. And then it's also, again, I don't see myself as a product company, it's a solutions company. So again, like for example, we've now had students today actually in the Netherlands working on gamified bins as well. Again, yes, you can just recycle and have a nice sign, please recycle, which is boring already. Kind of like the next step is, let's say if there's the Mr. Strudels character with a speech bubble, please recycle, already makes it a little bit more fun and playful. But then we kind of wanted to take it to the next level, almost again delivering waste management, recycling, sustainability in a very different way. So I think that's kind of like the role is kind of like to shape that, reshape, how sustainability is communicated, seen, and talked about, and basically planting those seeds. Then because again, the products that we do is like people are going to talk about them. So like I don't spend or like hardly any money on like no money on marketing in terms of like advertising because it's just all word of mouth. I mean, we did an event today. I mean, I can be 5,000% sure that they're all just going to go back to the offices and talk about the product because I mean, it's different, it's memorable.
Yeah, it's memorable.
So it's just one of those word of mouth things. So, and now even inbound leads, it's just, oh, I've heard from someone. So I think that's power of that sustainability angle rather than, oh, it's another whatever movie clip and whatnot.
Yeah, that's the power of the fun of it also.
I mean, that was something that I was so struck by. It's just that the strength in your brand identity is so powerful. And I think that is something that is so different from a lot of folks who are focused on sustainability, where they're almost focused first on the development of the product and then thinking about branding is secondary. But I really, really love the way that you've infused how you are creating products into kind of this ecosystem of your brand and how everything is so fun and packaged in such a cool way. And I'm really...
No, I mean, it was for me, I think that was for me and fun you say that. I mean, because that's almost like it was intentional in the sense that like I knew from day one I need to build a brand in that space. I mean, no offense, but like for example, like yeah, there is the eco deodorants, but like on the shelf, it's still the Axis of this world that sells. So I mean, there needs to be a mix between delivering the message and but like it's still being FMCG friendly. Because I mean, you can have the nicest best eco products, no one buys it. What's the point? So it needs to be still sexy. And so so again, I've basically built now the brand. Now what it is, it's just basically I've built the marketing machinery around it. So now if I spot innovation, and that's where we're working on a few more in the background, I'll just basically almost incubate it into Strudel. So same with the kids products I've shown you. It's like the lady I partnered with, like she's a nutritionist. She came up with the products, and we're almost like she's the mastermind behind the actual product, like content, and then we're basically just leveraging the brand, and then obviously, like as you say, the brand identity, the funness, and that's where we also like have our own like trust mark, kind of Mr. Strudels approved. And the idea is like that eventually it's almost like we go through the world kind of like stamping, okay, this is good enough. Again, it's about like changing that sustainability is not just when I sit on panels with corporates, it's like it seems very digital. It's like either they do, let's say, the whole stadium going green or nothing, and they don't talk about the small changes and like the in between and all the, I know if they have, I don't know, like bees growing on the roof, they don't talk about it because they're afraid of the backlash. So again, it's partly back to your role question. I mean, it's just like tickling out those examples and again changing that perception and like pushing for like here in the UK in the supermarkets there's like a pick and choose whatever on candy and stuff. So it's almost like this pick and choose sustainability philosophy that like any change is good enough and not like what we think is good enough. I don't know, going like, I don't know, all LED lights and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of like small changes and not everyone has the money to implement or the time to implement. I mean, including, I mean, yeah, we won't go into the B Corp discussion, but like, so a lot of stuff is just being done for shareholder purposes rather than living it. And then it's actually, but it's the small things that are done for genuinely and authentically that are not being talked about. I think that's a big problem.
Yeah. And consistently, you know, you can make that consistent smaller change, even if it's just instead of going to the supermarket where they keep their produce in plastic, go to the farmer's market where you can buy without plastic. Like that change is good enough. It's a big one, but yeah, you don't hear about it. And I liked your example of like bees on the rooftop. We don't talk about it because we're afraid of the backlash. But if you don't talk about it, then you can't get to that next step where you can take those larger steps too.
Yeah. And it's also like everyone then thinks like that as well. I mean, like there's enough companies. There was a big e-commerce player I was on a panel with, and like, I mean, the boxes, let's say they get the goods in, they obviously shred them, use them as filler material. It's not rocket science. It actually has like an economical benefit because you don't need to buy filler material. But I don't understand why their PR team doesn't let them talk about it. It's just things like that, and obviously that then has a knock-on effect on everyone. And then the small, I mean, I have some customers, whatever, they use a milk carton, cut 2 crosses in it, use it as a cup holder. Again, very simple, but then this will never reach far because you don't hear about it. And like those small changes are, I guess, well, not being talked about. So I guess that's where, again, when I have the luxury of time and stuff, it's more focus on that. And that's why the certification was the trust mark set up to more kind of like celebrate those small, or give a platform to celebrate small changes.
Yeah, the trust mark is interesting. Like where I didn't see it on your website, and I would love to hear.
No, it exists in a brochure, and I would just basically look. I mean, with the trust mark, to be very honest, like I don't want to build. It's almost like sub business in its own, but I don't want to build it up from scratch like I've done Strudel. So it's basically like we're either launch or not with either. It's all everything's there in theory, but we want to launch it on a big bang. So either like a big event or big corporate, almost like the free order, the first order is free, on that angle. That's why like we're constantly like scouting, and there's like a few people we're probably gonna like go live with eventually. But like I just don't, at the moment, I just don't have the time to push it because it's like it's a business on its own. It's being constantly mentioned, and we're just like, it's one of those fishing exercises. Like once someone bites, they bite, and it's now being it's sold on us now. With the products, you almost get that, but some will use it, some won't.
Yeah. Okay. I guess you partner with the brand that you like and they're Strudel certified?
Well, no, so basically there will be like three options. One is like kind of like self-certification, kind of like almost like to give everyone access. So it's a sustainability mindset audit. So it's not like a tick boxing exercise of like what do you have. It's more like you might not have the money, but you're doing the right things to help celebrate those small changes. So it's basically the first one. It needs to be more accessible, and you're almost going to get fed with like material for your for your socials and stuff like that. Whereas then the silver and gold will be a more like proper certification with a score, where the first one is like you just get a score, and the gold version is obviously we help you implement it further. So it's kind of goes in the direction. I mean, I know you can, if you're a big building, you want to reduce your electricity by 5 degrees, you can just do that. Or you can say it's bring your scarf to work day. Same outcome, very different buy-in. So it's more about like that, hence sustainability mindset order, and not just another how many bins you have and how much recycling, what's your carbon footprint. It's almost like it doesn't matter. Like it's like what's the genuine stuff? Like how much are you educating your staff? Is your staff taking out the recycling because they believe in it or because they're gonna get the paycheck? So that's where this stuff is geared at.
I love that. That's really cool, really fun project.
Well, if you want to work on it, let me know.
I wouldn't say no to that. It sounds like fun.
Yeah. Go. No, it is, but just again, it's just timing, because obviously, I mean, the core is still obviously the cash cow is still like the actual product sales, and it's almost like obviously, as I say, like I don't want to build it up from scratch. Like it's just with a big bang, or let's say with an organization that has access to 200, 300 potential customers, and they can obviously like then run it through them. So I think that's the idea, is just looking for the right partner to. I mean, it's almost like we have the credibility. We just need someone to kind of help deliver that. Again, I'm doing that, with someone else who has more like a science background for like that sciencey part of it. But yeah.
That's twice you've mentioned like other folks that you work with, and I really appreciate how collaborative Strudels is. It sounds like that's one of your biggest goals.
There's a third one as well. No, so I mean, so look, the whole idea is like to have Strudels like as a holding brand, and then so for example, the kids products, the Strudels eco activity kits, and that Strudels trust mark, it's called Stroodle. We have Strudels catering as well, which is like with a chef, where it's beyond just the dishes, it's also the actual food preparation side. There is a thing called it's called Scanbox, so it's kind of like any Muppet off the street can make a perfect whatever, like mac and cheese, because it's this device that you can, let's say a chef prepares in the kitchen, and this thing is whatever AI controls humidity and whatnot, and you plug it into a normal plug, and will keep the food fresh for like whatever 10 to 12 hours. So again, to operate a food stall, you don't need to cook, you don't need educated staff. You just need someone to serve and take money. So again, it's kind of like sustainable. Yes, we'll serve our dishes, but then also sustainable food processing. You just need a 240 volt, whatever the average, the normal voltage is plug. So again, yeah, it's about, because again, look, I mean, collaborating with other people means like someone knows things better. Again, and then for me, I just build a brand, and that's the whole idea from the beginning was like, I'm just finding ways to leverage it with areas of expertise of other people. And plus obviously there's economically, it's also diversification. But then again, they're all connected. It's all taps into one another. Because obviously, let's say the kid stuff helps upsell the other stuff, the catering will help upsell, and so on. So I mean, that's the whole end game of it, is to have that as a Strudels kind of like, it's a household brand. That's what I'm trying to get to. And that's, people associate that with it. So, yeah.
It's phenomenal. So if I may ask, so you started 5.5 years ago. Like, what was the first product? Or did you launch out the gate with all of this products and with your branding, or how did that work?
No, it was the pasta straws, basically. So basically like tubular pasta. So I mean, I still do it, but for retail only. Again, because I guess gluten was always the issue for like restaurants, bars. So especially in the UK. So hence, for like the on-trade for hospitality, we then launched allergen-free ones. But yeah, pasta straws was because the straw was all. I mean, again, at that time, it was just right timing. I think the straw was always the poster child of the whole plastic hate campaign. So it was just like very timely, and we got very fortunate that like we got lots of like nice press also in North America, and like Unilat led Bible, the whole bouquet, which was amazing out of nowhere. Yeah, and that helped, and then slowly then the other products were introduced, but it was always brand first, because that's what I have a strategy consulting background, so that's what I enjoy more than shifting product. That's if I could avoid that, I would rather not call someone about selling them something.
We can relate to that.
Yeah, I think that is the exact position that we like to take or recommend that brands take when they're developing products, is brand first, developing that identity, because then the products can kind of, like, that's similar to our approach, is that brand first rather than products, because having that brand identity allows you to kind of go off in a lot of different directions. You don't have to be so product specific. It gives you a lot more freedom. And I think that the way that you've done it, I really commend it.
Well, it's more fun that way anyways. I'm sure there's other ways more enjoyable.
Exactly. Yeah. And for the audience too, it is more enjoyable. Because like it gives them something to connect with more than just purchasing a product.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bigger picture, and it's. The whole idea was like for the character, he makes people smile. I think the coloring, it got brighter over the years. The first logo was a little bit paler yellow, or like whatever the Pantone color is, it's not yellow. But like it's just like, again, it's bright, it's in your face, and especially as you said earlier, it's like in sustainability, people are not used to it. And then again, there has to be a compromise, but yes, maybe you do need then gloss printing. It's a very theological question, because it gets a bigger message out. So that's why it's all like, I think it's that big compromise. What I think, as you said, a lot of eco companies look to eco, and it's almost like not sex. It's, look, you're appealing to those 3-4%, but it's the 99% that are going to make the difference, not those preaching to the choir. And then you need a product that appeals to them, but still ticks the eco boxes for them. And it's not, doesn't look, there is like in the UK, very different angle, but like same knowledge. I think there's a company called Hank, so it's condoms, but like targeted the female audience. Because again, you, like, again, on that use case, you've been shamed before, whatever, like if you're in the supermarket, you're embarrassed or whatever. But so again, it's just, they've taken a very similar strategy in that space of just adapting the marketing, and it looks like, basically, if it would be on your shelf, you would think it's a cream. Look their branding up, it looks like whatever, a cream or something. You'd never think, but it's exactly that. And I think it started because whatever, someone in the finance industry behind her was her boss from work while she was buying condoms. So obviously, kind of like she was very embarrassed and stuff. So again, that's why it's all like taking again a product, it's all about packaging. And so for me, packaging and like that sexy appeal was always like priority, because those FMs, those big Unilevers and P&Gs of that world are doing something right, and there needs to be compromise. Because again, I'm being very open and transparent about the flaws, but because I don't believe you'll be able to make an impact by everything looking eco and feeling eco and talking eco. It's almost like you're sacrificing gloss printing and whatever that comes with, but for the bigger picture of impacting more people. And it's a conscious sacrifice, and I think it's justifiable in terms of like a bigger picture.
Totally agree.
Absolutely.
100%. More people, bigger impact.
Yeah, exactly.
A no-brainer, right? Wonderful.
Very cool.
So how can people find you? Where can we find Strudels? Where can we buy those?
So obviously, we're mainly in the UK. Then obviously outside UK, it's more for restaurants, bars. We're based in Germany as well. Otherwise, on the website, Strudels, STROODLES.co.uk. Instagram is also Strudels, Facebook, LinkedIn. Connect, and let's get you all strudling.
I'm sold.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And thank you so much, Maxim, for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you next time.